Hey guys, what's up? I'm back with another video on alternate universe covers for Taylor Swift. So, honestly, I have been putting off making this video for a while because I have been in this very creative streak where I just wanted to keep making more covers, and honestly, making these videos is the most tedious part of the process. It takes a while to film them, to edit them, and I just want to keep making more. So I did that, I didn't stop, and so I now have 3 new cover collections for you in the same video. So, if you're new here, my name is Roger and I've been making this series of reimagining Taylor Swift covers, but in the style of a single one of the covers. So, first up I made a video of all the Taylor covers in Midnight style. Next up I followed it with a 1989 style collection, and for this video we have 3 at the same time. First up we have Reputation, then we have Red, the deluxe version of the original printing of Red, and finally we have Lover. So, without further ado, let's take a look at these 3 collections. But before we begin discussing the covers specifically, I want to talk about something that I haven't quite mentioned in the previous videos. Where do I get all the images from Taylor? So, there's this website, I'm gonna put the link right here on the screen and down below in the description, where I get most of the images that I use on the covers. It's this great site that collects all of Taylor's photo shoots, magazine photo shoots, album shoots, and images from concerts from all the eras, from public events, and everything related to images from Taylor. So I go there and I find the images from each of the photo shoots of the albums, and I try to find one that suits the tone that I'm going for. And if I don't find something that I quite like for one of the albums, I go to recent photo shoots, magazine shoots from that period of time, and I try to find something that does fit. So for example, for Reputation, I tried to find images that were her in a more moody or dramatic sort of way, so that it fits the Reputation style that I'm going for. And now that we're talking about Reputation, let's start with that set of covers. So, the most complicated part of recreating the Reputation covers was definitely gonna be all the overlapping text that's on top of her that says Taylor Swift, like a newspaper style or a magazine headline style. And yes, I did wear the newspaper t-shirt just to stay on theme. And I could have recreated that like text by text if I wanted to and if I had to, but I didn't want to go to that extreme if I didn't just have to and was forced to. So first up I tried looking at images and see if someone had already created a transparent image, a PNG, of all the text that I could just overlap on top of the images that I was gonna find. And I didn't find a transparent image, but I did find something that was quite close in usefulness. I found this amazing image that's just like the Reputation cover without Taylor, all the background in white. So that's just perfect for what I need, and I will show you how I used it later on. Next up, I chose all my Taylor images for the covers, and I cropped her out of the background so that I have her just as a silhouette. I grabbed those and then I converted those to black and white, to monochrome, so that I had her in that color tone for the covers. And then I adjusted it a little so that they were quite a bold black and white style like the original Reputation color palette. And I adjusted them so that they look like they belong in the same family of images. Next up, I used the image with the text, the overlapping text, and I cannot just place that one on top of the Taylor images. So what I did is there's this thing in editing programs, in Photoshop, in Illustrator, in whatever you use, that's called the blending mode of the images. And so you have 2 layers, you have the Taylor image in a white square to recreate the cover, and then you put the other image on top, and you blend the images together by selecting the top one, and then I just go through all the list of like blending styles like darken, lighten, multiply, dissolve, and all these different sorts of things. I used linear burn for this particular use case. That one, linear burn, is great for letting the bottom image pass through completely through the white, but the black remains intact. So that's what I did. That's how the result was achieved, even though I had the image with a solid white background. And just using different ways of blending an image can be a great tool for creating different results and letting the bottom image pass through in different capacities and in different color levels and styles. So that's what I did. And finally, the titles. I used the font that they used in the original cover. It's called Engravers Old English, and I just placed it on top of the original text to make it the same size, the same kerning of the letters, the spacing between the letters, and just everything to match. I did the line at the bottom so that it had the same underline, and for some of them I added the Taylor's version on the bottom so that you have that distinction. I'm gonna make a Speak Now version because when I did this there wasn't a Speak Now Taylor's version announced, but I'm gonna make a version that says Taylor's version for Speak Now. And I'm gonna share that with the files that I usually share with you. But now let's take a look at all the covers in Reputation style.
Taylor Swift.
Fearless.
1989.
Reputation. Lover. Folklore. Evermore. Midnight.
And those were the Reputation style covers. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. And speaking of the things, the files that I'm going to share with you, yes, you know the drill by now probably. In the description there's the files for all the folders of the covers that I'm going to share with you. Don't go ahead, don't skip to the spoilers of the files, but there they are. And each of them, all the three folders are going to have all the covers that I'm making in this video for free, absolutely. And I am also going to start sharing some of the process files. For example, I'm going to add the image that I found on the internet about just a white background with the text of the Reputation cover, so that you can use it if you wanted to for whatever project you want to. I'll link it down below in my Google Drive folder for the Reputation style covers, and the other ones will be there too. Finally, speaking of links in the description, I also added there for the first time a coffee link for my account, where if you want to, if you like in this video, you can go buy me a coffee, help support me that way. Yes, it feels kind of weird asking for money on the internet like this. I've never done it before, but a few of you reached out on the previous videos and asked if I had something like this set up. And well, if you want to support me this way, I would be so very thankful, but this is absolutely not mandatory. The files are free for anyone to use if you support me or not in that way. And if you're just watching the video, that's more than enough support for me. I appreciate it. Thank you for it, and just thank you for watching. So there's a link if you're interested. If not, that's also perfectly fine. Now moving on to red style covers in the deluxe version. So I've seen that the red style deluxe covers have a bit of a divisive opinion. I've seen that a lot of you don't actually like it a lot and prefer the standard cover for the original red. But I decided against doing that one because it feels like I just have to add the text in the corner and basically that's it. You know, maybe I could do a close-up of Taylor images and with the text in the bottom corner, but there was not much of a design challenge to it. So I went with the deluxe version so that I had more to work with the big text on the top and the image filtering from the bottom. For this cover, I use Vectornator on my iPad primarily. It's a vector app that's so great, so useful. It's free completely, and it's just more practical for me to use that one than something like Illustrator on my computer, because it's just simpler to use with the Apple Pencil and stuff. So the official font for red is Tungsten in the semi-bold variant. I used a very similar one on this family to recreate these covers, and so I just added a text box with the text red. I made it big and like stretched it from top to bottom so that it fit the correct red format at the top of the cover. And then I created something called masks. So on Vectornator you can add an image, a square for example. I added the red square on top, and then you place the text on top or below, it depends, but whatever you select, both layers, the text, the square, and then you add a mask, and so it kind of creates this see-through layer through the text, and so the square kind of becomes a solid that has the cutout of the letters like you're seeing on the screen. And so that's the way I did the text for red. I added the Taylor's version so that I could distinguish it with the one that I can make it different from the original one, you know? So I have some Taylor's version in this video too. Speak Now still doesn't have a Taylor's version for this, but whatever, I will probably make it. And so I just kept making all the covers in that style using a color square, reducing the opacity of the square a little bit, and then masking the square with the text of the album name. I tried making some covers with the longer titles in like 2 parts. For example, I tried to make a Reputation cover or an folklore cover, but they didn't look great, so I just went with a full text stretched out, and I like the look a lot better. For example, Reputation kind of looks like prison bars, and I really like how it turned out. And yeah, basically that's it. I'm gonna show you now all the finished covers in the red deluxe style.
Taylor Swift.
Fearless.
1989.
Reputations. Folklore. Evermore. Midnight.
Again, which one was your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below. And so now let's go with the Lover style covers. With this one, I have a lot of files to share with you in the link down below for the Google Drive. And that one was a bit of a challenge. First off, I cropped all the Taylor images just so I could have her separate from her background so that I could put her on top of the clouds. But then, where did I get the clouds? Well, I decided to try Canva and it worked. So I went to Canva, I have premium Canva in my account, and I searched in the image database for clouds, and I went like pink clouds, blue clouds, purple clouds, red clouds. And so I found a lot of different clouds. I imported the ones into a square, the ones that I wanted for the covers, and I adjusted the colors a little bit so that they were the exact tone that I wanted them to be. Next up, I downloaded them from Canva, and I used them as backgrounds for all the album covers. Next up, the font. That one was a bit difficult because there is no Lover font. The Lover album title is actually handwritten, and so I decided to do the same because if I used a similar font, it would not look as fluid. It would look a bit repetitive in the way that fonts look, and so I went with the handwritten style. I made them on Procreate on my iPad. They have this thing called a calligraphy mode for some of the brushes, and with calligraphy mode, your writing kind of becomes quite fluid, and so yes, there's some sort of level of talent in writing calligraphy in this way, but also a lot of it, just the Procreate calligraphy style brushes do the job. And so I just wrote all the titles with a lot of patience and a lot of tries, and I have them all written like this in black. I actually was kind of sleep deprived when I did this, and so there's this part where I was trying to make Fearless, but I also was thinking of Speak Now, and so I messed up, and look at the video, I was writing Speechless instead of either of the other two for like 5 to 10 minutes, and I didn't notice, and then I thought, oh, this looks wrong, this looks weird, I don't think this is it. I think the spelling is wrong, and so I tried Speechless with an EA instead of EE, and that was horrible, and it's so shameful. I thought about not sharing that, but I posted it on TikTok a while ago, and so just here it is too. That happened, and I hate it. But yeah, I have all the texts for the covers like this in black, and then I have to make it sparkly like the original Lover style covers. So I looked on Google for just glitter in different colors: blue glitter, purple glitter, black glitter. And so I used the masking feature that I used in red. In Vectorinator for that, I converted my text, my black text, into a vector. You can do that with Vectorinator, just convert a basic image into a vector pattern, a kind of mathematical model of the form that's taking. It's a weird thing, but I'll show you on the screen kind of what I mean. And then I masked it with the glitter images. And so the font kind of just the text lets the image pass through just in the text part, and it looks like it's made of glitter. And then I exported the images just transparent for the background, and that's how I got my glittery text for Lover. And I'm gonna include my original black images for the text in the folder files, and I'm gonna include also the transparent glitter texts so that you can use them for whatever you want without having the full album cover to deal with if you want to. And so those are there for free as well. And then I just put it all together. The cloud images with the glittery text at the top in the same size as the Lover font, and the images of Taylor just at the bottom placed there in the clouds. But I felt something was missing, and so I realized that the Lover cover has a bit of a light leak on the right side. There's like a yellow light leak on there, and so I decided to add all these different kinds of light leaks to all the covers so that they look a bit more like the Lover style cover, but not identical. So they're all kind of different light leaks, and I added them with just this app on my iPad called 1998 for making like old style photos, like disposable camera photos. I added all these light leaks, and that's how it turned out. For example, there's version 1 without light leak and version 2 with a light leak, and that's the difference that I ended up choosing to go with the light leaks. I will have in the file, in the folders, in the description, both versions, the light leak full finished versions and the non-light leak versions if you like them better. And so there we go. Here are all the covers in the Lover style.
Taylor Swift.
Feelings.
1989.
Reputations. Folklore. Evermore. Midnight.
And that's it. Again, which one do you like better for the Lover style? You can have all the files in the description. And that's it. I will stop rambling now. Thank you so much for watching, for supporting me, and I will be back much sooner than this video with another one. I don't know if it will be a Taylor video or another artist video or something similar but different. We will see, but thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, and I will see you back much sooner this time.